Cantos 47 to 50 of Book 5 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph D. H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 47. The Death of Aksha. But Ravan, as his fury burned, his eyes on youthful Aksha turned, who rose impetuous at his glance, and shouted for his bow and lance. He rode upon a glorious car, that shot the light of gems afar. His pennon waved mid glittering gold, and bright wheels with jewels rolled. By long and fierce devotion won, that car was splendid as the sun. With rows of various weapons stored, and taut swift horses whirled their lord, racing along the earth or rose high through the clouds whenever he chose. Then fierce and fearful war between the banner and the fiend was seen. The gods and Asurs stood amazed, and on the wondrous combat gazed. A cry from earth rose long and shrill, the wind was hushed, the sun grew chill. The thunder bellowed from the sky, and troubled ocean roared reply. Thrice Aksha strained his dreadful bow, thrice smote his arrow on the foe, and with full streams of crimson bled 3 gashes in the banner's head. Then rose Hanuman in the air, to shun the shafts no life could bear. But Aksha in his car pursued, and from on high the fight renewed. With storm of arrows thick as hail, when angry clouds some hill assail. Impatient of that arrowy shower, the banner chief put forth his power. Again above his chariot rose, and smote him with repeated blows. Terrific came each deadly stroke, breast, neck, and arm, and back he broke. And Aksha fell to earth, and lay, with all his lifeblood drained away. Canto 48. Hanuman captured. To Indrajit, the bold and brave, the giant king his mandate gave. O trained in warlike science best, in arms of all our mightiest, whose valour in the conflict shown to Asurs and to gods is known. The Kinkars whom I sent are slain, and Jambumali and his train. The lords who led our giant bands have fallen by the monkey's hands. With shattered cars the ground is spread, and Aksha lies amid the dead. Thou art my best and bravest. Go, unmatched in power, and slay the foe. He heard the hest, he bent his head, athirst for battle, forth he sped. 4 tigers fierce, of tawny hue, with fearful teeth his chariot drew. Hanuman heard his strong bow clang, and swiftly from the earth he sprang, while weak and ineffective fell the archer's shafts, though pointed well. The Rakshas saw that naught might kill the wondrous foe who mocked his skill, and launched a magic shaft to throw a binding spell about his foe. Forth flew the shaft, the mystic charm stayed his swift feet and numbed his arm. Through all his frame he felt the spell, and motionless to earth he fell. Nor would the reverend banner lose the bonds that bound him as a noose. He knew that Brahma's self had charmed the weapon that his might disarmed. They saw him helpless on the ground, and all the giants pressed around, and bonds of hemp and bark were cast about his limbs to hold him fast. They drew the ropes round feet and wrists, they bit him with their hands and fists, and dragged him as they strained the cord with shouts of triumph to their lord. Canto 49. Ravan, On the fierce king Hanuman turned his angry eyes that glowed and burned. He saw him decked with wealth untold, of diamond and pearl and gold. And priceless was each wondrous gem that sparkled in his diadem. About his neck rich chains were twined, the best that fancy ever designed, and a fair robe with pearls bestrung down from his mighty shoulders hung. 10 heads he reared, as Mandar's hill lifts woody peaks which tigers feel. Bright were his eyes, and bright beneath the flashes of his awful teeth. His brawny arms of wondrous size were decked with rings and scented dyes. His hands like snakes with 5 long heads, descending from their mountain beds. He sat upon a crystal throne, inlaid with wealth of precious stone, whereon of noblest work was set a gold-embroidered coverlet. Behind the monarch stood the best of beauteous women gaily dressed, and each her giant master fanned, or waved a chowry in her hand. 4 noble courtiers wise and good in council near the monarch stood, as the 4 oceans ever stand about the sea-encompassed land. Still, though his heart with rage was fired, the banner marvelled and admired. Oh, what a rare and wondrous sight! What beauty, majesty, and might! All regal pomp combines to grace this ruler of the Rakshas race. He, if he scorned not right and law, might guide the world with tempered awe. Yea, Indra and the gods on high might on his saving power rely. Canto 50. Prahasta's Questions. Then fierce the giant's fury blazed, as on Hanuman's form he gazed, and shaken by each wild surmise, he spake aloud with flashing eyes. Can this be Nandi standing here, the mighty one whom all revere, who once on high Kailasha's hill pronounced the cause that haunts me still? Or is the woodland creature one of Vasu race or Bali's son? The wretch with searching question try, learn who he is, and whence and why he marred the glory of the grove, and with my captains fiercely strove. Prahasta heard his lord's behest, and thus the banner chief addressed. O monkey stranger, be consoled, fear not, and let thy heart be bold. If thou by Indra's mandate sent, thy steps to Lanka's isle hast bent, with fearless words the cause explain, and freedom thou shalt soon regain. Or if thou comest as a spy, dispatched by Vishnu in the sky, or sent by Yama or the Lord of riches, hast our town explored, proved by the prowess thou hast shown, no monkey save in form alone. Speak boldly all the truth, and be released from bonds unharmed and free. But falsehood spoken to our king, swift punishment of death will bring. He ceased. The banner made reply, Not Indra's messenger am I, nor came I hither to fulfill Kubera's hest or Vishnu's will. I stand before the giants here, a banner, even as I appear. I longed to see the king, it was hard to win my way through gate and guard, and so to gain my wish I laid in ruin that delightful shade. No fiend, no god of heavenly kind, with bond or chain these limbs may bind. The eternal Sire himself of old vouchsafed the boon that makes me bold. From Brahma's magic shaft released, I knew the captor's power had ceased. The fancied bonds I freely brooked, and thus upon the king have looked. My way to Lanka have I won, a messenger from Raghu's son. End of Cantos 47 to 50.